Do your clients only buy prints from you? Do they turn down your packages and your frame offers too easily? If so, this is not a money problem, it's a mindset problem. Your clients aren't cheap, they're just scared of getting it wrong. If this sounds familiar, then today's video is definitely for you. My name is Mark Bailey, I've owned a studio for 15 years and I've made a ton of mistakes along the way, but I've learned a lot as I've gone along. Hopefully you can learn from this, and if you're interested in the business side of photography and the sales side of it, then definitely subscribe to us and follow us along our journey. Now, when I say mindset is the problem here, I'm not talking about just your client's mindset, it's your mindset as well. On my last video, I got a really nice comment from, let's have a quick look at it. It was from Lawman212, and he says, I found it's often very difficult for some clients to consider buying prints of any significant size. They always think in terms of 4x6s or 8x10s. They're worried about big being in poor taste, though it would fit well in the rooms they are decorating. So this comes down to mindset, 100%. On my last video, I went through how if we can get the clients to visualize where this is going to go in their house, it will make them come in asking to buy frames from you. So my first bit of advice is to go through and watch the visualization video. But before you do that, you've got to believe in it yourself. So today's video, I really want to go through that and how we do that in our studio. We see this all the time where we will have a real good run of sales and it's been brilliant. And then all of a sudden they start to dip and then we go on a roller coaster and we go down. Now our goal is to spot this dip and come back out of the roller coaster as quick as we can. It's just natural that sales will go like this. And what we want to do is to try and get them going up. Now, for me, when I'm in the sales room, or the design room as we call it, or if I've got one of my guys in there as well, if we go in thinking this client is not going to spend big, they've already said in the shoot they're only going for 1 or 2 prints, if we think that in the back of our mind, when we go in, that is what will happen. We almost give up too easily. We don't have our A game when we go in there. I remember when I first realized this, and this must have been about 10 years ago, we used to have a real good run, and then the bad run we had must have lasted for maybe nearly 2 weeks, and it was killing me. It was just print sales for 2 weeks straight. And we did have some good packages back then. Goodness me, 10 years ago, the packages I offered then were a fraction of what the prices are today. But nobody was going for them. And I went in and it was on a particular day. I remember it was on a Saturday, and I had 4 designs booked in that day. And I went in with the mindset going, this is it. I'm not having any more low sales. I'm going in on my A game. Everybody is leaving with a package today. Now, we used to have 3 packages. First package was a CD only. Second package was 1 frame. And the third package was 3 frames. Very rare we ever sold the top package, but we would sell the CD one, or we would sell the middle package with the frame every now and again. And it was every now and again. So I went in with mindset being today's the day. Now my first design, it was prints. It came out, I was determined it wasn't going to get me down. That was the only one today, and the rest of them were going to be packages, and I really went in. Now I wasn't doing any sort of hard selling. I just knew at this point, if I can get them to see the value in this, they will go for it. Now let's just jump forward a little bit. At the end of the day, my first one just went for prints, my second one went for the middle package, my third one went for the top package, my fourth one, and ahhed, needed 2 minutes to chat between themselves, came out and went for the top package. So I'd gone from us having a bad run and just prints to within 1 day making more money on that day than I had done for the previous 2 weeks. That was down to my mindset. It was a real big moment for me to realize that this is on me. Now, I've been on tons of courses since then. We've been all around the world. And with the courses that we go on, they're not really photography courses in such of we're going to teach you how to take nice, pretty pictures. I realized that that wasn't where the money lied. It was with the business and the sales side in the background. And there's been one common theme all the way through these courses that I've been on. It's mindset. If we think the client is only going to buy prints, they will only buy prints. Even though we'll go in and try and sell our packages and we've probably got our spiel all set out and we know what we're going to say, subconsciously we're expecting them to not go for it. And so when they give us that little bit of pushback, which is natural, we don't give our A game, we don't give our top answer back to them. So That's the first thing that you need to make sure that you've got your mindset right. The next thing is, you're not your client. I say this to everybody all the time. You're not your client. You're never going to put the same value on it as what your client will. They can't do what you do. If they could, they wouldn't be there. So for them, it's a skill. It's already valued higher. You're also not a financial advisor. If the client wants to spend X amount of pounds on something that they're going to cherish for life, then let them. That's their right. They've earned that money. They can spend that where they want. They can also say, no, I don't want to spend it. Now, one of the biggest thing is, your clients will be very scared of getting things wrong. It's one of the reasons most people come in saying, I want digitals. Then they see the price of your digitals. So what's the next best thing? It's going to be prints. Now, they're not going to spend this money so they can stick bits of paper up on the wall. They're going to spend this money to get these prints, to put them into frames. So they've got to go buy those frames. So there's extra budget there. So money is not the problem for them. It's getting it wrong, which is the issue. Now let's talk about TVs. If size was such a big issue, everybody would have a nice small little TV tucked away in the corner. They wouldn't be going out to wherever, buying a nice big 50, 60, 70 inch TV screen and putting a big, massive black piece of technology up on the wall. Obviously they do watch it, but if size was an issue, then you wouldn't be buying big TVs. That's a really good thing to think about. So what for your client is the big issue is getting it wrong. Sometimes as well, your client needs to hear from somebody else, especially a professional, which is what you are, that it's okay to go for the size they want. Now, we will tell clients, look, go around, have a look in the home where it's going to go. You want this to make sure that it's not too big and it's also not too small. The last thing you want to do is get something that is really small, you put it on the wall and actually it looks terrible. And the same is, you don't want it too big either. Now what I'm doing there is I'm trying to let the client know that, yes, I don't want you to buy small. What they're going to hear is, because you want me to spend more money. But then when I throw in, I also don't want you to go for something too big, because that's just going to have the same effect. They will then hear that going, oh, well, they're not trying to get the maximum out of me, or maybe they are actually trying to make sure I get the right size thing here. So in your studio, what you want is to have examples set up that they can relate to. So you don't just want random frames everywhere. You're going to want to have your packages set up. So for us in our studio, we have a 5-frame package, a nice big 30-inch by 40-inch frame in the middle, and then we have two 14-inch by 11-inch frames on either side of it. Looks really nice. We have that above a sofa. Now the sofa that we have in the studio, we've got different size sofas, but we have that just above a normal standard size IKEA 3-seater sofa. Most people will have a 3-seater sofa in their home. If they have a 4-seater sofa, great, I'm going to try and sell them something bigger that will fit better and look right. I also have a sideboard, or 2 sideboards I should say, that also have this 5-frame collection. You'll probably kind of gather from this, the most popular thing we sell is our top package, which is the 5-frame collection. And it's not because it's amazing value. It's not because it's the perfect size. It's because we've got it set up and the clients can come in and they can visualize it. And once we started doing that, and again, this came from learning from different courses and testing things, we did used to have random frames everywhere. It looked beautiful, but the clients were coming in and they're looking at it going, that looks nice, but I can't do that because each frame's about £600 or £700 each. And you've got on this one wall, you've got maybe 10 of them. So we took them down and we put these packages, if you like, these collections that we're trying to sell up on the wall. Once we did that, they started to fly out the door, and we do sell them multiple times each week. So we can sell them multiple times in a day as well if we've got enough clients coming through the door that day. So it comes down to mindset and your client just getting permission from you that's okay to buy that. And I think if you are struggling with this, you need to learn how to do the visualization. You want to implement and drip feed it all the way through your processes. So when you do your marketing, I'll do some videos on marketing coming up soon. I'll show you the types of pictures that we use and the videos that we use, and all the way through it, we've chosen them specifically because they're showing the end result at different points. So even though we're showing the pictures that the clients are going to get and the experience they're going to get, we still make sure that there's a little bit of a sales message in there. You know, they can see that 5-frame collection on the wall in the background and they will make that connection going, that's quite nice. Even if they don't think it out loud, subconsciously that seed's been planted. we'll then speak to them about the visualization, just where's it going to go. But it's a very soft touch that we would do on that. Just plant that little seed. So if you thought about where this is going to go in the house, like the living room, kitchen, dining room, fantastic, right? Well, have a think about which wall it's going to go on. And it's pretty much the visualization on the phone call. But then when they come in for the photo shoot, we'll touch on it even more, because they'll be there for at least an hour with you, or however long your sessions are. For us, we also do newborn photography, which is 3 hours. So we can have real good conversations with the client without it feeling forced, because they're there for that amount of time, that we will just interact with them and we can start to drop it in. We might be half an hour in, maybe 2 hours in, and we'll just be chatting away going, so what are you going to do with these if you thought about it? Is it living room or something? Like, great, so in your living room, wait, above a sofa, a little bit like what you see over there? Or are you thinking like a sideboard? You see, right, amazing. Well, the good thing is, what I would do is when you go home, just measure up, make sure you get what's right. Again, because we're not pushing anything, we're not selling anything at this stage, we don't have any pictures to sell them. The conversation's very different, because the client doesn't have that brick wall up, because they know full well that this is just information and guidance at this point, but that's our job. So we are the professionals, we have got the experience, and in all honesty, yes, you want the nice big sale, it helps pay the bills and put money in the bank, but you want your clients to be nice and happy. Now, I've woken up this morning and we've got 4 leads that have come through, and 3 of them have messages on them saying, hi, I've been recommended by so-and-so to come and see you. That's probably a free lead that's come through, because we've got it right with somebody else who's got something on the walls. Now, let's imagine that that client that's recommended us has a 5-frame collection on the wall. Now, we charge £1,500 for that. So the first thing that they're going to ask their friend is, if they've seen it, that's gorgeous, how much was that? And they're going to tell them the price. Now, if that person's then still got in touch with us, they're no longer starting at the print price or the digital price. They're at £1,500 straight away. So as you can imagine, when they do come in, we run the risk of not having our A game, because we're going to look at that going, oh, they're from so-and-so and they went for that, so they'll clearly go for it. We've done that in the past and it's resulted in low sales. So much so that at one point I almost told my team that you shouldn't put notes on the system, because the good notes are getting low sales, and the notes where it's going to be difficult design are getting the better sales. So maybe we treat them all the same, and that's what we do. We still put the notes on, but the team need to know, look, you need to go in with your A game. Now, for me, when I go into that design, I'll be looking at this going, right, they've got a friend that's bought a £1,500 package, so they're coming in at that price point. I still need to make sure that we don't end up losing the sale because I'm too relaxed. At the same time, if they're already at this point here, I'm going to do some soft upsells on this. You're going for this, so how about you get this at half price? So we actually do an album for £1,000, and so that's our upsell, very soft. So I'll make sure that I don't lose my £1,500 sale with this client. Once they've gone for it, I'll then throw in very softly, so guys, you've gone for that package, so as part of the package you also get anything else at 50%. Now what most people tend to do is go for an album, because you've still got a lot of pictures here, and they work really well on one of these albums, and I'll show them the album, and then I'll talk about the price and what they're saving, and I'll use my little sales lines on that. Again, I'll go through a full sales breakdown video later point. But again, this just shows how the mindset of your client needs to change, but also your mindset when you go into that room needs to change. Not too overconfident, and also don't, if you go in thinking that it will be prints. So I think my advice for Law, what's his name, sorry, Lawman212, would be, you've got to change your mindset first. Go in expecting your clients to tell you, oh, I wouldn't go for anything bigger than a 10 by 8 because of X, Y, Z, or it's just too big. Expect that. So if you start to expect it, you can then control that coming out when you want it to come out. I potentially, word it with, so what are you guys thinking of doing this? Last thing you want to do is go for prints that are too small, and obviously you don't want anything too big. Where's it going to go in the house? So have you got your room in mind? Is that a living room, dining room, kitchen? The living room, great. And which wall would you choose out of them? So in your living room, is that above the sofa? Is that above the fireplace? The sofa, fantastic. And so are you thinking something a little bit like this? And hopefully you've got something set up where you can show them that wall art, that collection that you want to sell. And then carry on the conversation there. Now, it might not work on the first one, but the idea is after that, and the client's gone, before you do anything else, write down notes. Go through and write down what worked well in that conversation. Where did you get to with them? Did you get a little bit further, but then there was an issue? Maybe price was the issue, because it will happen from time to time with your clients. But typically, they want to spend the money, but they just need to know that they're not going to get it wrong. Hope that helps answer that question a little bit. If not, whack me another comment and we can go through that in the next video. But I hope that helps. If you are interested in the photography business side of things and the sales side of things and the marketing, then give us a subscribe. Anything you want me to go through, give me a comment and I'll cover that in one of the future videos. But I hope that helps and I hope everybody has a good day today. Take care. Bye.